The game was so nice, we had to play it twice. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment. We're giving the green light for Season 2, Episode 3. This one is called 001, and we're also giving the green light for the return of Red Light, Green Light. The first game of the first season is also the first game of the second season. And of course, Ji-hun, this helps him massively because he's played this game before. He knows how to pass this game. He knows how to survive this game. The only problem is he needs to convince 455 other players to listen to him.
Ji-hun has won before, and it turns out number one could be wanting to win again as well. It's spicy. We got 1, 4, 5, 6 going to be going at it, judging by the end of this episode, and a lot of jobbers in between. Streamers, Bitcoiners, trannies, everybody. It's a Royal Rumble.
Now, what I noticed straight away from the contestant and the players, it did feel like a lot more modern. The range. I felt like in the first season, and not that I had an issue with it at all, but it just felt like you're more normal, average kind of people, and obviously you had that bad kind of the drug dealer or the gang man, whatever. You had like a prostitute in there. You had the old crazy woman. You had people wanting to win the money for their own reasons. That's all great and stuff. But in this one, it almost felt like they were kind of trying to like modernize it a little bit with the fact that you had streamers and there's talks of like Bitcoin and all this stuff.
What I would argue is that
it looked more like a hip crew, in my opinion.
Yes, you would have to be something though in order to get in so much debt to enter these games, and therefore it makes sense for a bunch of people involved with Bitcoin and streaming and the rap game and betting all their money on Bitcoin to enter due to this debt. But then saying that not all 400 odd players are going to be involved in Bitcoin.
I'm just saying, based on the players that we've seen in Season 1 and Season 2, you'd have maybe thought there was a bigger gap than 3 years. But anyway...
But I would agree, I think there is more than 3 years. I think you look at the main actor, he's aged. Now, the rumours are they finished writing Squid Game originally in 2009. I don't know how long after they filmed it. I wouldn't be surprised if this show was filmed at least 10 years ago, Season 1.
Well, I don't think it was. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We don't really care if that was filmed 10 years ago, 100 years ago. Well, I don't think it was filmed 100 years ago.
That's plenty.
Maybe 001 for Season 1 was filmed 100 years ago. He's the only guy near that age. But here, how could Ji-hun ever trust anybody with the number one? Anyway, how does number 390 suit you? We get introduced to Young Bae, and this, of course, is Ji-hun's friend from Season 1. Ji-hun used to go and gamble with this guy. I don't think either of them had much success. Although this man did own a restaurant and he had a wife, and we later find out that he doesn't have the restaurant anymore. His wife left him and she got custody, so he is not doing too good. And I guess that's why he's in the games. He wants to win some money. He doesn't know, though, why Ji-hun has just ignored him and abandoned him over the last couple of years. Says, we were best friends. Where have you been? Well, did you fall out with me because I didn't lend you that money? He doesn't know, though, that Ji-hun has been on a secret mission the last 3 years to try and take down this big, bad Korean evil gamer. So, well, not evil gamers, but...
the big Squid Game guys. But no, my problem is with this. It's like, it's been 3 years since Season 1. I did not know who this guy was.
Operation?
What do you mean Operation?
He's taking down the South Korean operation.
He's taking down the South Korean Squid Game operation. But my point is, I think 3 years in between seasons is ridiculous. All in, it's about, 12 seasons? I can't accept that. Seasons of the years, by the way. I think we need a year in between each season. Look how much they've aged, for fuck's sake. Guy says it's 3 years. He's near as old as number one. Come on! And then this guy, how am I supposed to know who this guy is? Ji-hun. Fucking reel in, buddy. Back of the line. But you know what? We get introduced to a few people. Thanos, apparently in real life, he's actually a part of a disbanded rap group for South Korea. Honestly, I see people that like K-pop outside of Korea. What are you doing with your life, man? Some of the shitest rap you'll ever hear. No Indian guy this time around. I thought they might have fired a few Indian guys.
Lack of diversity, I noticed that.
Yeah, we had a trans person being played by a non-trans person. That sparked a bit of fury in the media.
We had number 333. He was Mung Jai. He is a former YouTuber who streamed and he promoted some form of Bitcoin. And he cost a lot of people a lot of money. And some of those people are in this game and they're not happy with him. They're demanding that he must win the money and pay them back or else he is going to get it.
Call me old-fashioned, man. I'll never be interested in Bitcoin. It just sounds like a big scheme to get people money hoovered after.
Yeah, look, Bitcoin, I mean, yeah, I'm sure people have made money from it, but to me, you can't beat cold, hard cash.
You always hear about people making money. You never hear about their losses. It's the same with gambling. People don't brag about their losses. Yeah, they brag about the one win they get. I know all about that.
See, for every one person that's made it big on Bitcoin, I bet you've got about 10 people that went fucking broke.
Yeah.
Investing in it. So, you know what? Take your Bitcoins free, and shove them up your arse. Anyway, we get introduced to all the players, and some of them get names, some of them don't get names. We get the explanations for what they're here for. Obviously, they're desperate, they want money.
3 billion won debt.
Yeah, we get
4 billion won debt.
Yeah, the soldiers come in and they basically explain why everyone is here and explain how much money everyone is owed, or everyone is
not owed, mate. Right? You need to reel this in, right? No. They're not owed hee-haw. They're in debt. The big Squid Game operators are not in debt to hee-haw. They're here simply facilitating a game for these people that need money. Now, the problem for me is, right, normally, right, see in a normal society, being 10 million in debt would be an insane amount of money. But see with one, that's like pocket change. That's doing the sofa change. And the problem for me here is that the jackpot's 45.6 billion won. And the guy in here for the highest amount of debt is 10 billion won. So it's like, this guy, later on in this episode, it's like, oh, this guy, 456, we can keep him alive, and we'll get 200s to win. It's like, well, hold on, here are 200s of fucking
100.
His name's 100.
So that's his number, he's not got, I don't think he's got a name.
Well, fuck his name, the old guy, the oldest guy in there. Why would he want loads of people to win? If you divide 45.6 billion won by 200, you're not getting your 10 billion. This guy needs a maximum of 4 or 5 people.
Aye, 5 people. Any more than 5, he's not getting his debt.
He's not. Off. So this guy wanting, I mean, he should actually want 4, 5, 6 to be an inside agent trying to kill everyone. But it's like, do you not honestly feel like the fact that this guy's 10 billion in debt almost makes these games not worth it? The risk for him, if you're a nobody, and it's like you can get 45.6 billion.
Well, I disagree with that, because the less you're in debt, the more legit ways you must have of actually repaying it. If you're this much in debt like this guy, then probably Squid Game's your only opportunity. I would take that back. That logic doesn't sit with me at all. You're trying to say because this guy's more in debt, it's not worth him playing. I'm going to disagree. The people that are less in debt would have a much better chance and more opportunities of paying it back in the real world.
Yeah, but I think this guy. Maybe I fumbled the ball there. You know, unlike Patrick Mahomes or whatever.
Did they play American football in Korea?
My point is, it's like, for this guy to actually do well, he needs the least amount of people to survive as possible.
Well, look, I mean, at the end of the day, they probably all want one person just to win it. This whole rule where you split it after a game, that's only been introduced now.
Yeah, I've no idea really what the future games hold, but I would say just due to the fact that they know that 4, 5, 6 is in there, obviously, they can't have games that knowing prior is an advantage. Now, you could argue green light and red light is an advantage knowing prior.
Are they really factor that in, though? Because they
say you get to the bridge, right? Say you get to the glass bridge. He obviously knows going last is a good thing. Unless the timer...
They could switch up, though, couldn't they?
Where going first is a good thing?
I don't know. They could just switch the number. Maybe 6th team means you're first. They could do it.
I guess they could, but I think his knowledge breaks games like that, and to be honest, I think the drawing game and the honeycomb doesn't really matter with prior knowledge, like, but it's a tough situation.
See, I guess you could argue there was a flaw. One of the soldiers says that every single one of yous in here are indebted, or in billions, millions, but we know that Jihan can't be indebted because he is a previous winner. So that would tell me that none of the soldiers know about the identity of any of these people. And I believe that the only man that knows Jihan is in here is the front man.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Or else they could have just been masking this guy's identity. But then why would they? Because that would make it feel like he's an agent. But anyway, I mean, we go up the stairs to red light, green light. Ji-hun's like,
Well,
right.
they could be masking his identity, but that means what he said is factually incorrect. Because he said everybody that's in this room is in debt.
And they don't normally lie, unless they're being lied to.
Yeah, from what we've seen, they've always told the truth.
Yeah.
So I think it would make sense, though, that the front man's the only man that knows about Ji-hun being in there.
Front man, top man, I wonder who's the back man. But Ji-hun, he goes to the front of the line, he's like, right, basically, if we move it when it's green, we're alright. If we move when it's red, you're going to get shot. Oh, this guy, he crazy, he lying. It's like, hold on here, right? Maybe he is lying, but why do all these people who wake up in this mysterious land, they get drugged out for the amount of money that's at stake here, think this is just going to be some walk in the park and think this guy's crazy?
Yeah, why would you be getting drugged and taken to a remote place?
You know, I totally get it, right? 456 people. I'm not saying every single one of them's going to be like, you know what, he's right. But there wasn't like anyone defending him. Like, he could be right.
Yeah, so he gives them advice, he tells them what to do, they play the game. One of the women that, I mean, probably got a decent amount of screen time, to be honest. I forget her name. Did she have a name? Not too sure.
B lands on her, wasp B, stung. Ah, I moved. That's me. Dead. Big shot to the dome. Shocked they actually killed her, but I guess the first kill needs to be meaningful. And she did have a decent bit of screen time in this episode with the Thanos guy, but she gets shot here, and not everyone really wants to believe it.
Mina, so player 196, she actually got a lot of dialogue in this episode, and just normally when that happens, you kind of just assume, right, the characters that they build before the first game, you know, they're trying to introduce characters for the Squid Game tournament, and they're not going to maybe dedicate a lot of time to somebody before the first game if they plan on killing them. But she was the first player to go, which I thought was a little bit surprising. And then when she went, more people seemed to just lose their minds, and some of them tried to run away. The composure slipped. We've seen Thanos take some drugs, and that seemed to help him a little bit.
Why has he been allowed drugs in, by the way?
I mean, that's I don't know, is there something suspicious going on there? Or
I mean, we've seen Ji-hun, his tracker took out his tooth, and it led them to some fisherman's bait.
True, but you know what? Maybe the drugs doesn't stop the game. That's no one's going to find them because of drugs, you know. So maybe.
But it is like a form of cheating.
I mean, possibly, but anyway.
I mean, they would have to test the drug in order to actually prove, like, is this a performance enhancing drug? You know, we've seen Metal Gear Solid Snake taking diazepam to aim the sniper. Diazepam, while you're cutting the honeycomb, would help, my friend.
Right. So, well, who knows? Maybe we'll get to that stage anyway.
You're it.
Thanos pushes 3 people, just kills them, doesn't really get called out on it. He continues to run. We see players getting to the end. We get the woman from episode 2, who is it Caneel? So, yeah, she's shooting a few guys. She notices the man from the father from the kid that had the disease. He's in the game. He's looking for money. So we're getting a couple of recognizable faces here. One contestant is caught moving. He's shot in the leg by one of the male soldiers. At the end, our hero G1, he has to try and help him. Well, he doesn't have to, but he does. He comes back to get him. He tries to pull him over the line. The transgender character has to save the day as well. Good person, I guess, to help him over the line. So they both help this man over. I forget his number.
44.
40. Is that what he was? 44?
I think he was 44. Again, I think the problem with this is, though, is like, I wonder why the guy...
44 was that crazy woman.
It was something ending in 4.
444.
There you go, 444.
Which is pretty close to 44.
Namdu. But
So
do you not feel like this was definitely purposeful? Him shooting him in the leg?
Yeah, so he pulls him over they both pull Namdu over the line, but then Kang-el shoots him, and the male colleague goes, I mean, what did you do that for? And she says he was disqualified. So,
which was absolutely right on the money. I'm thinking maybe there's a front man whispered in the big man's ear, here, I want you to injure one of them to force Ji-hun to help them. Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, potentially this woman's going by the book, though. She's killing any... Although, you know what, I mean, in episode 2, she doesn't seem like she's a bad person, so it's like, if this wasn't her shot, then why would she feel the need to shoot this guy? I mean... She's not going to be the one that gets repercussions for this. It wasn't her that took the shot on him.
But I totally agree, but she is a bad person.
No, she must be, but I just didn't get that feeling in episode 2 that she was a bad person.
Like, see anyone that says, "Oh, but she's forced into it. She needs to work for these people to get money in order to pay for or whatever." It's like, well, she could just enter the fucking game then.
No, but I think the fact that she killed this guy confirms that that's cold.
Oh, yeah, absolutely cold. And the problem is for me, it's like even if she left this guy alive, we've seen in the past they've actually like performed like surgery to heal people. They would not have helped him. He was literally he got eliminated. He moved.
Well, maybe they weren't helping people; they were selling organs. Maybe that's what they're planning on doing again.
Well, I guess that could
maybe
be
there's some organ selling going on. But yeah, nah. For me, I think she just proved here that she's not a very nice person. But they passed the game. Everyone then is calling out Jihan. How did you know that? You're crazy. You're a plant. You're this. You're that. He reveals that he's played these games before, and that they're all going to die unless they vote to leave. So then we get a big vote. Half the room are agreeing with him, half the room are not agreeing with him. And when we get to the end of the vote, they're doing it in chronological order from 4, 5, 6 down to number 1. And we haven't seen number 1 to this point. Now, I don't think number 1... Well, I know number 1 did not play the red light, green light, or at least this guy didn't play red light, green light. So number 1 walks up, you don't get to see his face, you only get to see him from behind. It's tied in terms of votes, so this vote will decide it. He votes to continue playing the game. He turns round, and it is none other than the front man, who we've seen during red light, green light drinking some whiskey. So he took the mask off, and he's now decided to enter the game. And obviously, Jihan doesn't know what the front man looks like, so this gives the front man a massive advantage. He can obviously manipulate things. He can try and control votes. He can try and control teams for the next games. And I wonder why he's doing this.
I think it's the correct decision, though. As much as it's still good having Jiho in there, Jihan, sorry, I think we needed someone else like this to be in there. I think we needed him to be. I think we needed the front man. Good ending to the episode. And you know what? It made sense for the guy not to have the tracker, because if they found the island this episode with like 4 episodes to go, I don't know, something was going to happen. So I'm sure they'll find the island with a few episodes to go, or maybe like the second last episode or whatever. But another good episode of Squid Game. But I just hope we get new games. I wouldn't like the same games to be repeated, even though I know for a fact the Honeycomb game is repeated with a pretty dodgy drawing of a triangle. Anyway, I will give this episode a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was wasn't an improvement on episode 2. I think so. For me, it still wasn't fantastic. I think a 7's fair. I'll go with a 7. Still think the first episode's probably my favourite. But it will be interesting to see how the games play it now. And obviously, because we're in the games, we're getting introduced to a lot more characters. And now we've got the front man also in the games. Things could get very interesting. So yeah, I'll get a 7 out of 10 as well.
7 out of 10, guys. Still episode 4. Peace.